You see a lot when you're the firstborn. I saw my mother and how she worked hard, and she was full of pride and would never want anyone to ever pity her. She never complained about anything. But I also knew how she suffered. I knew how she stayed up late at night trying to figure things out. She was a brown woman with an accent. I remember going into, a store and us being followed. I remember how people would look at my mother and make certain assumptions about her intelligence or her capacity or her right to belong. As the eldest child, you see this. My mother was very well aware that she was raising two black girls to be two black women. And she did that instilling in us pride in our culture and cultures, always knowing that we would face all kinds of obstacles, but she never let us believe that anything could get in the way of our dreams or pursuits. My sister Maya is 2.5 years younger than me. So at the age of 2.5, I was told, look after your sister. And it is something that is very much a part of just who I am, which is that look after those who need your support or need your help. And that has been what has motivated me to do the work I've done, to look after and protect people.
Vice President Kamala Harris' life in photos. As Harris campaigns for president, take a look back at her life and career. By Emily Burek, published September 10, 2024. In January 2021, Kamala Harris made history as the first woman, the first Black American, and the first South Asian American to serve as Vice President of the United States. She's made history again this year, as the first Black woman and the first South Asian woman to be a major political party's nominee for president. Harris, born October 20, 1964, is the older daughter of Donald J. Harris, an economist from Jamaica, and Shyamala Gopalan, a breast cancer researcher from India. She has one sister, Maya Harris, and a niece, Meena Harris. In 2014, Harris married California lawyer Doug Emhoff, who has 2 children from his previous marriage. More on Kamala Harris' family tree here. And a note on her name. Kamala is pronounced Kamala, and it means lotus flower. As she writes in her memoir, The Truths We Hold, a lotus flower grows underwater, its flower rising above the surface while its roots are planted firmly in the river bottom. Here, take a look back at Kamala Harris' life in photos, and see where her roots are. A baby Kamala Harris is fed by her mom, Shyamala Gopalan Harris. At 25 years old, Mommy had a college degree, a PhD, and me, Harris writes in her memoir. Here, Kamala's dad, Donald Harris, carries her. Proud daddy on his way to a doctorate in economics at Berkeley, she notes in her memoir. These 2 snaps show a baby Kamala with her mom. Visiting my Uncle Freddie in Harlem, Harris writes. Harlem was always a magical place for me. Here, a baby Kamala eats a snow cone. Harris' younger sister, Maya Harris, was born in January 1967. The Harris sisters on Christmas in 1968. Sisters waiting for Santa Claus, Kamala captions the photo in her memoir. These photos show the sisters together a few months after Maya arrived. Mommy, Maya, and me outside of our apartment on Milvia Street after my parents separated, Harris writes about this photo. From then on, we were known as Shyamala and the girls. Kamala, center, poses for a photo with her mom, standing behind her, her sister bottom left, and her grandparents P.B. Gopalan and Rajam Gopalan. Kamala holds hands with her younger sister. While an undergraduate at Howard University, Harris joined Alpha Kappa Alpha, a sorority for African American women. Howard is where I ran my first ever race for elected office, Harris posted on Instagram with this photo of her. It's where I joined my beloved sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I'm so excited to be celebrating our 113th Founders Day today. And along the way, Howard taught me that while you will often find that you're the only one in the room who looks like you, or who has had the experiences you've had, you must remember, you are never alone. Your entire Bison family will be in that room with you, cheering you on, as you speak up and speak out. We're with you every step of the way. A young Kamala Harris graduates from Howard in 1986. Howard is an institution with an extraordinary legacy, one that has endured and thrived since its founding, she wrote in her memoir. It endured when the doors of higher education were largely closed to black students. It endured when segregation and discrimination were the law of the land. It endured when few recognized the potential and capacity of young black men and women to be leaders. After Howard, Harris attended University of California Hastings College of Law. Here she is at graduation with her mom, Center, and her first grade teacher, Mrs. Wilson, left. In 1998, her sister, Maya, married Tony West. Here are the sisters at the wedding. Harris pictured running for district attorney in San Francisco. She was elected in 2004. I loved having my mother with me at community events, Harris writes in her memoir. Here are the two women at a Chinese New Year parade. Harris, then district attorney for San Francisco, stands for a portrait. Per her official White House bio, as DA, she was a national leader in the movement for LGBTQ+ rights, officiating the first same-sex wedding after Proposition 8 was overturned. She also established the office's Environmental Justice Unit and created a groundbreaking program to provide first-time drug offenders with the opportunity to earn a high school degree and find employment, which the U.S. Department of Justice designated as a national model of innovation for law enforcement. From left to right, Tony West, Kamala, Maya Harris, Mina Harris, and Tony's parents Frank and Peggy look up poll results in the Attorney General election. Harris won. In 2011, Harris was sworn as California Attorney General. Her bio notes, she oversaw the largest state justice department in the country. She took on those who were preying on the American people, winning a $20 billion settlement for Californians whose homes had been foreclosed on and a $1.1 billion settlement for students and veterans who were taken advantage of by a for-profit education company. She also defended the Affordable Care Act in court and enforced environmental laws. Harris at the California Democrats State Convention in San Diego. Her pearl necklace became a signature style. In 2012, Harris spoke at the Democratic National Convention. The American dream belongs to all of us, she said, and if we can work together and stand together and vote together on November 6 for President Barack Obama, that's a dream we will put within reach of all our people. In 2014, Harris married Doug Emhoff, a lawyer. Here they are that fall, at the LACMA Art Plus Film Gala. In 2016, she ran for the Senate, and won, becoming the second black woman and the first Indian American to serve in the Senate. Here, she is sworn in by then Vice President Joe Biden. As a senator, she was on the Senate Judiciary Committee, where she made waves as she questioned two Supreme Court nominees. Despite her busy career, she continued to make time for her family. Here's Kamala, Doug, Cole, and Doug's ex-wife Kirsten at Cole's college graduation. In 2019, she declared her candidacy for president at a rally in Oakland, California. Her campaign slogan was, "For the people." At her kickoff rally, Harris holds her niece Amara as she stands next to her husband. Harris has long been a supporter of LGBTQ+ rights. Here she is at a pride parade in 2019. After she dropped out of the presidential race, Joe Biden selected her as his running mate. She became the first black woman and first Indian woman on a major party presidential ticket. In January 2021, Justice Sonia Sotomayor swore in Vice President Kamala Harris during the presidential inauguration. Vice President Harris and Emhoff en route to a state dinner celebrating India. In one of the more famous images from her vice presidency, Harris arrives at the Edmund Pettus Bridge for an event to commemorate the 59th anniversary of Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. In July 2024, President Joe Biden made the announcement he would be withdrawing from the presidential race and endorsing Harris to replace him on the ticket. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, he wrote. And it's been the best decision I've made. Today I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. Harris quickly became the Democrats' presumptive nominee, securing enough delegates ahead of the Democratic National Convention.
As you leave the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.